Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. As per usual, I will be going over my normal schedule of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, Omise, and Lisk, all of those in that order. Any more detailed technical analysis on TradingView in just a second. If you haven't purchased cryptocurrencies yet, go check out Coinbase. I have a referral link in the description where you can get $10 free when you sign up. And let me go ahead and update you all on what's been happening with the general market and some of the altcoins. So we have been moving higher. Bitcoin is making a new all-time high today, above $12,000. Absolutely amazing to see this one climb even higher, but it's something that, like I said, as long as we don't see a clear confirmation of a pullback of some sort and a clear sell signal, it's really, too dangerous to try to call the pullback as is, right? You have to wait for some type of confirmation, and we haven't gotten that yet. In fact, we've just gotten, more confirmation of move higher for now. So we'll see, when buyers will exhaust, but for now, it's still moving upwards and still has a lot of strength behind it. Ethereum pulling back a little bit. IOTA, big mover today, up 75%, really breaking out towards $5. If you want to know more about my thoughts on IOTA, go check out my video that I made yesterday, which is will IOTA go over $10 in 2018? I talk a little bit about, my price prediction for IOTA next year, and yeah, I think it'll do well, but it's definitely seeing a lot of strength, climbing up the top 5 ranking right now, and a pretty amazing move here, to be quite honest. So we'll see how all this plays out, but one thing that I should mention is I saw a couple comments wanting me to add IOTA and Cardano into the daily crypto updates. That's fine, I can definitely do that. I try to, cover the most popular cryptocurrencies, I guess, and the top 10 ranking obviously changes a lot. So if you do want to see any modifications to the daily crypto update schedule, let me know and I'll consider it. But one thing that you do have to realize is that for any cryptocurrencies that you feel are left out for the time being, I will try to cover those in, hopefully a pretty regular live stream series that I start doing on my channel. So stay tuned for that, but definitely let me know if you want to see any changes to, what I'm covering in the daily crypto update. Other than that, Monero having a very nice day today, going towards $300, up 30%, massive move for Monero, and it's been one of the altcoins that's been holding up very well and then moving higher consistently for a while now. Stellar Lumens, also a pretty big mover here, up 17%, and I just wanted to go and point out, Vertcoin above $10 now. I didn't even realize that, but it's up 20% and finally broke that $10 mark, which I've been calling for a while now. Great to see that happen, and that should set somewhat of a new base for Vertcoin above $10. So that's great to see. Einsteinium looks like it's moving higher here, up about 30%. I don't know too much about this coin. I'll try to make a price prediction video on it, but it has been moving higher pretty consistently as well. So I'll definitely make sure to get you guys some coverage on that. Finally, Navcoin up 30%, moving towards $2. I pretty much called that entire move, and it's really acting nicely at this point. So yeah, this is all I'm going to update you guys for the general market, but let's get started with the technical analysis on Bitcoin. Not that much to say here. Like I said, we are making higher highs, higher lows pretty consistently. What's pretty crazy with the breakout that we had today above $12,000 is that we didn't see any kind of sell-off yet, right? We're coming at the high with a full body candlestick, so there is still, like I said, a lot of strength behind Bitcoin right now. As surprising it is for this pretty massive move that we've seen, pretty much since this $7,500 mark, where we haven't really seen any kind of real pullback since then, right? But it has been holding up very well. What I just drew right now is the short-term uptrend line. So we'll see, that's obviously a pretty steep uptrend line, but we'll see if that'll hold. For now, we're still trading below the upper Bollinger Band, which is good. And yeah, like I said, we have to see some type of confirmation of a move lower before we can really start predicting a pullback, because for now it's really just keeping up with the uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. MACD still looks good. Histogram still looking very strong here. RSI climbing even higher towards 90, which is a very high area. You have to realize that. But the only sign right now that's a little bit more bearish is the fact that we have declining buy volume. With that being said, though, this is such an amazing move, and for now, unless we start breaking, this first uptrend line and then maybe even another one, there's really no bigger pullback in sign for now. So it looks like Bitcoin is still in full breakout mode. And going over to Ethereum now, see what's been going on with that. It looks like it is having a little bit of a pullback. So we have a somewhat of an inverse hammer candlestick, which is actually a bullish signal normally. Of course, with this type of candlestick, you do kind of want to wait for some confirmation. That would be a move above the high of today, which is $461.99. That would mean that, you know, we have a confirmed move higher, and that would probably start going back up to, you know, $475. So we'll see if that happens. We did dip below the orange line on the MACD, which is a pretty bearish sign. Hopefully we can move back above that pretty quickly, which would kind of negate some kind of bigger downtrend on the MACD. But we are negative on the histogram and below the downtrend line on the RSI. So the indicator is not looking great. We'll see if this inverse hammer candlestick will be a sign of a reversal, if we can get confirmation, like I said. Other than that, if that doesn't happen and we break today's low, which is $456, we'll probably come back and test this black support line right over here at $430, which is pretty much in line with the middle band, the brown line. So that should be, you know, a pretty strong support level over there. And let's keep up with our analysis here, moving over to good old Litecoin. So it looks like Litecoin is bouncing today, up just under 2%. Histogram falling back a little bit. MACD still looking pretty strong, and you know, it looks like we kind of bounced off the 70 line, if I'm not mistaken, on the RSI, so that's good. Unfortunately, we are facing some resistance at the previous uptrend line, so that is currently where we're having trouble, you know, moving higher. We'll see how that plays out. Obviously, it's going to be hard to move above that just yet. It could happen though, but what's more likely is, you know, we just kind of move away from that a little bit while moving higher slowly but surely, and then we'll have more space to really make a stronger move, probably back towards the all-time high here at $107.49. That could definitely happen within the next week or two. It is looking pretty strong right now and kind of avoided some kind of bigger pullback. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see it, you know, make a new all-time high like Bitcoin within the next week or two. Continuing on with our daily crypto update here, we're going to go over to Ripple, and let's see what's been going on with Ripple. So Ripple pulling back a bit today. We're trading below the middle band, the brown line. So as far as the indicators go, we're moving lower, pretty significantly lower here, really starting to downtrend a bit on the MACD. Same thing on the histogram, and looks like the RSI is coming back towards the uptrend line. So we'll see how that plays out. We made a low today of 21 cents, kind of bounced off our previous support level over here. We are still trading above the uptrend line, which is really what matters right now, and we definitely don't want to see it move below that. Want to make sure that we keep trending above that. So we'll just see what happens at this point. Somewhat of a doji candlestick, not a very flat body though. Not flat enough, I would say, to really be a strong, you know, reversal candlestick, but we'll just have to see what happens at this point. Like I said, I'm kind of expecting some consolidation. Hopefully not too much of a move lower though. So hopefully it's able to kind of hold its ground at least. But yeah, for now, there's not that many signals on what's to come. So I would just expect, you know, some consolidation until we see some kind of break to the downside or the upside. Going over to Neo now, and Neo, kind of similar to Ripple, we're kind of testing the uptrend and downtrend line at the same time. We also have support on that 37.50 cent mark. So, you know, it's kind of testing, actually, wow, it's testing a lot of support levels. It's also testing the middle band, which is currently at 37 cents, it looks like. So a lot of support there. Hopefully it won't break below that. That would be pretty bad just because there's a lot of support in that area, and we'd probably get a test back to the uptrend line if we break through all that. So, you know, that's not the end of the world, but that's definitely the most likely move if we break below that support. Otherwise, if we're able to hold that, you know, I don't think we're going to be able to hold this uptrend line over here anymore. So we'll probably just consolidate in between $37 and maybe $39 for a bit before, you know, making the next move, which obviously for now it's not very clear what that will be, but it depends on which side it breaks out of. As far as the MACD goes, very flat right now, not very strong, and RSI not really doing much. So like Ripple, we're going to have to wait for a bit more confirmation to get a better picture of, you know, where it might be heading in the short term. Moving onwards, we're going to pass over to Vertcoin, getting yet another really nice move today, and a little bit of a sell-off compared to the high of $10.75. We could be moving much higher though. Kind of like what happened yesterday, right? We put in a bit of an upper wick candlestick, completed that today, and that is, a pretty common pattern sometimes, especially when there's a lot of strength. So it's acting pretty well here. Very strong upturn on the histogram, really taking off on the MACD and on the RSI as well above the 80 line. So we are trading pretty high up as far as the Bollinger Bands go, pretty much fully above. Usually when that happens, it's hard to sustain, so we get some kind of a pullback. That can happen. I like how it's acting though right now. I would say that if it has enough strength, we're probably going to go and test maybe, $11, $12 in the near future. Otherwise, we'll probably get a bit of a pullback. You have to remember that after a breakout like this, it can be good to, come back, test some of the lower levels just to put in some support, because right now the only real support level that we have is at this $7.20 mark, which is pretty far away. To be fair though, we do have some decent support at the high of this candlestick right over here, which is at about $9.40 more or less, is where we have some pretty good support also. So it could come back and pull back to there, consolidate a bit, or trade in between this range over here if it's a bit weaker. It really depends, but we'll have to wait until, we put in a lower low and lower high before any of that should happen, because for now we're still making higher highs, higher lows. The uptrend is still fully in motion, so until that stops, can't really try to predict some kind of collapse or anything like that. Going over to Monero, getting a big move today. Pretty big upper wick here though. Put in a high of $320.41. Currently trading at around $280. Really spiked on the MACD, and same thing pretty much on the RSI, back above the 75 line, back above the 80 mark, which is what we wanted to see. Now, what do I see happening here for Monero? It really depends. It's kind of like Vertcoin, where this is such a move above the upper Bollinger Band that it could be a bit hard to sustain. I would say that now we're going to have some pretty good support though at around $250, $255 is the high of the previous candlestick. I'll go ahead and put that in. So we should see some pretty decent support in that area over here. Like I said, around $250. Looks like anywhere between $245 and $255 should be some pretty decent support if we get a bit of a pullback. So now also you have to realize that we have a little bit of a new uptrend line to pay attention to, which is going to be this uptrend line right here, the more short-term uptrend line, which could be harder to sustain, but that's what we're going to currently be paying attention to see if we can keep up this strong move. Otherwise, if we're not, we're probably just going to get some consolidation and a bit of a pullback, but right now it's still acting pretty strong, and we just have to see, when the buyers will fully exhaust. There was a pretty big sell-off today though, like I said, so that could already be the sign that it put in a top in the short term. That wouldn't really be a bad thing. It made an amazing move up to $320. You can't ask for much more as of right now, I think. So really acting nicely and proving itself to be one of the better cryptocurrencies out there. I've always liked Monero. It's working at a bit of a different angle, of course, the privacy aspect of things, and it looks to be really working out well right now. So going over to Bittrex, Bittrex has fallen lower on the top 10 ranking, out of the top 10 ranking, like I said. So it is what it is, but we're down 5% today. Came back, tested the uptrend line. As far as the MACD goes, still above the orange line, coming back towards the uptrend line on the RSI, and hopefully we can still trade in between our channel here, which is the previous uptrend line that's acting as resistance, and our current uptrend line, which is support, and kind of climb higher, towards $10 slowly but surely. I wouldn't want to see, a move below that. That would obviously be pretty bearish. Hopefully we would catch support at the middle band, which is currently at $8.60. So definitely want to make sure that Omise continues to uptrend. I don't really want to see it move back towards $8 and start consolidating. That would definitely be pretty bearish in my book. And finally, last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update is going to be Lisk. So let's see what's been happening with Lisk, and looks like we're getting a pretty strong pullback today, down about 8%. We have crossed over, however, on the MACD, which is actually a very good sign. Hopefully this won't be, too dramatic, but this is a move that I like a lot, right? I don't want to see it crash back under the orange line. I want to make sure that we stay above that, and this was a overextended hook on the MACD, which is a pretty powerful pattern that I use a lot in my trading. coming back nicely on the MACD as well, back in the positive line. So despite the fact that we have a bit of a pullback today, you know, I would say hopefully this is just a test of our previous support level at $8.58, and we can pretty quickly start moving back higher, hopefully back above the uptrend line over here, and, you know, slowly but surely re-begin a more neat uptrend towards, you know, I guess the all-time high of $12.21. I'm going to go ahead and put in a little bit of a short-term uptrend line over here, which would be, you know, pretty much this uptrend line right over here. See if we can hold that and make a move above, you know, like I said, our previous uptrend line, which we're going to try to really make sure that that's what kind of sets a trend moving forward. And some good room to move up as far as the Bollinger Bands go. So that should, you know, help the chances that it does actually move back and bounce back above the uptrend line. As far as that's concerned, this is the end of the daily crypto update. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.